Hi everyone and welcome to ICO Investor, and in today's video we're going to learn about an incredible project called Web3 Graph, which is actually an advanced event-based open graph for Web3. You will also learn how to become a participant of this incredible project. So if you want to learn how to do exactly that, make sure to watch till the end. Please notice our disclaimer since I'm not a financial advisor, so this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Alright, so first of all, Web3 Graph is advanced event-based open graph for Web3. Now, actually, Open Graph is a web meta tagging protocol that introduced by Facebook at the F8 conference in 2010. Actually, it was to provide meta tags for social networks in the Web 2 era, allowing information content to flow quickly, actually be presented accurately in the Web 2 era. That way, actually, it was showing, let's say, the developers, for example, or for any person that needed the data, actually organizing the data of the person's social behavior of each user and relationships. And that way, you more easily knew what is the profile of this person, who is this family, who is his friends, his interests, and stuff like that. And that way Facebook and other social medias very easily can categorize each users that way, like with specific data on him, the specific details. And that way, for example, they know which ads to show you in order that you will be interested. Let's say that you're a dog lover and you have pit bulls. So if there will be a movie that is going to talk about a relationship between a person and his best friend, pit bull Johnny, for example, so you might be interested in this kind of movie. But if you are a cat lover and you don't like dogs, so probably this movie won't talk to you. That's one of the reasons that they actually categorize you in order to make the platform as best as possible. So what is actually Web3 Graph protocol? As an open graph protocol for the Web3 era, Web3 Graph is actually focused on providing graph information to Web3 natives. And that way it actually provides the Web3 developers the ability to understand more in details about the users, also about the fast and accurate way to exchange and present information and data for Web3 applications. Because when you know what kind of person is using, so you will know much more accurately what he might want to see and what he might not want to see. Another example, as I said, like if he has parrots, he loves parrots but he don't like pigeons, you won't put in front of him ads with pigeons unless you want to trigger a negative emotion in him. So stuff like that. And also that way you can actually make the user like want to stay more in the platform, which is great. When you have a user more time in the platform, he's more in the platform, and that way he can do more stuff. And yeah, and it's great. And that way he can also use more apps and stuff like that, which is actually very contributing to the platform. Now, the main differences between Web3 Graph to other projects in this field is that these products actually have solved the existing problems in their respective subdivision, but also share some shortcomings. And Web3 Graph is a more general and underlying graph protocol with a good level of compatibility and scalability, which is great because when there is a project that is very smart, but you don't have the ability to scale it upwards. So first of all, in a business perspective, it's very hard to think about it as a good idea to invest and also to take part of, because if it's hard for you to develop and to actually make it bigger, more sophisticated and more helpful to the customer and to the end user, actually might be a good idea to think about a different project to do, you know? So for example, Web3 Graph is data graph infrastructure in Lens, for example, or 5 degrees. It's not, okay? Like in Lens is content-based social platform, and in 5 degrees is social graph infrastructure, social networking protocol. The data source, for example, is also on-chain and also off-chain. A lot of them, it's only on-chain besides Cyber, Contact, and Galaxy, which is also on-chain and off-chain. But like the event engine, for example, like in Web3, the data engine is an event engine versus others that it's or that they don't have at all, or just in Galaxy that they don't have the event engine. And also there is the data format, for example, that the data format of Web3 Graph is data graph. In others is or social graph or none, which means that if it's only focused on the social graph, there is a lot of data that you can see or you can see less clearly than you would be able to see in a data graph. And the behavior data, there is only one in Web3 Graph versus the other project. Also, by the way, the extension combination of, for example, in on Web3 Graph is Web3 Graph SDK plus browser extension. And in the others, they don't have none, or there's only the one in Lens that is customized subscription or collections reference model, meaning that it's a different way, and it doesn't mean that it's a better way, you know? So in the application scenario of Web3 Graph, there is DeFi, social DeFi, GameFi, DAO, recommendations network. In others, they don't have this amount and this options. By the way, his market size is very, very large, which is great. And also the time series analysis, there is support. Also, there is support behavior aggregation, which is great. And by the way, the tokenomics is very simple. There is the Web3 Graph corrector, the Web3 Graph, you have the Web3 Graph producers. They're actually coming to the dApps and Web3 Graph consumers. And in the end, there is the end users, because there are 4 roles in the ecosystem in the Web3. There is the end users, the Web3 Graph producer, the Web3 Graph consumer, and the Web3 Graph operation manager. We are actually the end users, like most of us will be the end users. So it's very important to us to understand what we're going to do. So the end users can actually obtain various services provided by Web3 Graph through the ecology, are provided with addresses of different chains to obtain unfilled personal data services. And that way it actually helps us, you know, to think about it this way. If you can actually obtain various services that actually provided by Web3 Graph, so you will probably be using it a lot. And when you will be using it a lot, so there will be more data on you, and that way it will actually be able to be more adjustable to you, and in general they will have more data about everything. Now Web3 Graph is actually an incentive token in Web3 Graph, which is actually used to reward contributors, participants in the ecosystem. Plus at the same time it will be used by data consumers to pay for data usage. It also used as a governance token, Web3 Graph ecological DAO, which is great, decentralized autonomous organization. And that way, when it's decentralized, so you know that there isn't only one place or one person or one organization that controls everything. It's decentralized. That way you have, we'll call it more of a free market, you know, and you have more control over it, which is great because there is ups and downs to decentralizing. But in the ups, like, you have more, we'll call it privacy, which is a great thing in a lot of aspects, you know. Now in the future, they're planning to have a more sophisticated economic model, and also they will have a smarter and more powerful engine and a more comprehensive label graph, which is always great. And by the way, they will also have a broader graph ecology, and that way they will probably be able to meet more needs, more end users, which is great because that way they will have more users. Probably the reward program actually will help more people to earn more. You know, everyone loves to get money. And by the way, in the 3rd quarter, they will have a design and R&D of Web3 Graph SDK, introduce developers into protocol testing, and continue with the development of an event engine that they already have. And also R&D of event engine off-chain model, introduce developers into on-chain API testing, and also design and R&D Web3 Graph API, and much, much more. So if you're interested to read more, head over to web3graph.io by clicking the link down below and actually click on white papers, and you will get to this incredible page. Now, by the way, an amazing thing that I would like to tell you is that actually, if you will click in here and you will get to their Discord, you will be able to actually log in very soon. You need just to click in here and to accept the invitation. That way, you will be able to see that they have an incredible gift for you if you would actually decide to take part of it. And in order to get it, all you need is to actually click on events, okay, in here. That way you will be able to see, first of all, the event of activator campaign, that the reward is 1000 USDT, which is equal to the US dollars. All you need to do is to join the Discord and Telegram, invite 3+ friends, post 10+ messages daily, and reach level 3 in Discord. Also, by the way, it will be a great idea for you to click on the Medium post for roles and detailed info, and that way you will be able to read much, much more. And also you can go to their tweet link and actually read more. The other incredible campaign that I wanted to tell you is the mascot campaign, which is actually 1600 USDT, which is equal to roughly 1600 US dollars. It's going to be on April 25 to 8 of May. You can actually win their prizes by referring designers to create their mascot or voting to win rewards. And for the rewards and activity, all you need is to click in here and you will get to their article. Also, you can get to the tweet link and actually you will get to their Twitter, which by the way contains over 2,000 followers. If you want to learn more about their community and about you're more than welcome to head over to their Twitter. As I said, you can get by clicking to their website, Web3Graph, by clicking the link down below and actually clicking here on their Twitter. And by the way, if you would like to read about their team, about Eric, the CDO, about Erzin, the CEO, and actually Sam on the CMO, you can actually click in here on the introduction and you will be able to see that, for example, he knows business development, marketing and sales, and finance roles. He had on big data, managing partner switch, and much more. Eric actually managing partner, big data, technology, system architect positions for mission critical software development projects. Very serious people. And also the incredible founder and CEO of big data technology that you can read much more in here, which is director of research, Seagate Technology. He has an LLC in here. Now, the fundamental of Web3 Graph, that is not only a decentralized graph generated for the Web3 era, but it's also breakthrough existing limitation of the traditional open graph while meeting the user's demands for data ownership on the Web3 era. It's also very convenience and completeness of expression. And also, by the way, they focus on the convenience of storage, which is great because, you know, in our era, the idea of how to actually use data in the most efficient way, in one hand, that it will be very efficient and organized, but also that it will be easy and fast and rapid to actually use. It's also a very tricky way and also a very important thing. So in Web3 Graph, they're doing exactly that. For summary, if you want to learn more about this incredible project, head over to web3graph.io by clicking the link down below, and you will be able to learn about this incredible project. And also you will be able to hopefully take part of this incredible project, because if you want to actually go, you can repeat to watch this video, or you can actually go to their white papers and actually see and the part that I'm talking about the actors in the ecosystem, and that way you will be able to learn how you can actually take one of those 4 roles in those ecosystem, choose the one that fits for you best, and hopefully to actually receive rewards on taking part of it. So thanks again for watching this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to give us a like and make sure to add any comments with questions that I may have not covered, and subscribe to our ICO Investor channel so you can get other great content like this one that will help you with your cryptocurrency journey. That's all for now. Thanks for being here.